All right. Welcome, 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 superstars, to another amazing and fantastic episode of Social Media Saturdays. I am super excited to sit down and have our conversation today. And today we are talking about how to become an influencer by building the brand called you. And so this is going to be a really exciting topic. As you can see, I have the beautiful Suzan Hart sitting next to me on my right. And this is for you. And I really want to ask these questions out here. So as you join the broadcast, just kind of chime in, and let me know what are some of the thoughts that you've had around, these challenges on social media. So have you ever wondered, like what is too much to share on social media? And so I know that that was one of the questions that I had when I entered into the social media space. Like, oh my gosh, what is TMI on social media? What is overshare? So if that's you and you've had that question and you really want to know what does it take to really share on social media, how much to share, what to share, when to share, we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Okay. And then also, this is for you if, like, as you hear me talk about showing up on social media, it kind of makes you like cringe a little bit, right? And so we get it. We understand that social media could be a very scary place, for a lot of people. Okay. But as entrepreneurs, as coaches, consultants, thought leaders, we are all called, to build a personal brand. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And then we're going to dive into what it actually takes, to make that happen. So welcome to Social Media Saturdays. And I am your host, Taria Hodge. And this is a place where you come to learn how to show up and shine. So each Saturday, I share real strategies designed to fuel your business, help you capture your authentic message, and position you as an influencer in the marketplace. And then, like I said, sitting down to my right, I have none other than the amazing Mindset Mastery Mentor, my Mindset Mastery Mentor, Suzan Hart. Okay. And so we are going to today, like I said, peel back the curtain, take a look, and have a real behind the scenes conversation of what it takes to build a brand called you. Okay. And I'm so excited to share, like, personally what this meant for me and how it has helped me shift in my business. Okay. And so if you are out there this morning, I want you to do me a favor. Please go ahead and let me know, Taria, I'm out here. I could see you, I could hear you. Just drop a comment into the comment section and then let me know that you could see us and you could hear us. And then we're going to get this party bus started. And then also, as you join the broadcast, okay, I'm going to ask you to let us know where you are watching from. So make sure that you drop your city, you drop your state, let us know into the comment section where you are watching from. Okay, so I'm going to shout out to all my wonderful folks in the DMV. I'm still here in the Virgin Islands, looking forward to making my trip back to the DMV very soon. So if you're tuning in from the Maryland, DC, Virginia area, just drop a line and let me know. Okay. If you are watching from any other city across the US, just drop your city and state, let me know. If you are hailing from another country, and I see Yetta just popped in. Great morning, Yetta. Yetta, let us know where you are tuning in from this morning. Okay. So drop your city, your state, your country, where you are watching from, because I love it. I love that we have superstars that connect from all across the world. Okay. Now, after you have shared with us where you are tuning in from, the second thing that I would like for you to do is let us know who you serve and how you serve in your business and how we could connect with you. Okay. So who you serve, how you serve, and how we could connect with you. Now, one of the reasons I do this every time we get together on Social Media Saturdays is that I absolutely love the virtual networking that happens here on the platform and the virtual networking that happens in our community. Okay. But here's the thing, we won't know what you do unless you tell us. Okay. So don't miss the opportunity to share that with us in the comment section. And I see that Patricia is out there this morning. Great morning, Patricia. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us this morning. So don't forget, Patricia, just let us know who you serve, how you serve, and where we can connect with you. Okay. It's one of the things that I absolutely enjoy doing, going back and looking at, all of our superstars and how we could connect and make connections during the week. Okay. And Suzanne, I did promise you one of the things that I was going to do today before we get into our conversation. As you can see, I'm excited, bursting at the seams. We do have an announcement. So I don't want to forget our announcement. So I'm giving the announcement up top. Okay. And so today we have the pleasure of doing our Magnetize and Monetize the Virtual Stage webinar. And so we're hosting a webinar. One of the things that Susan and I have committed to is to doing the webinar twice a month. Okay. And so we get together, we do the webinar on the first Thursday of the month, and then also the third Saturday of the month. Okay. And so this is for you. If you are out there and you're in this virtual space and you know that it's time for you to kind of up your virtual game and you're ready to be camera ready and you're turning your story into a new stream of revenue. And so if this is you, you definitely want to go ahead and join us. Okay. So a couple of things that we'll share on the webinar. If you need a simple talk template that prepares you to crush any platform, you want to make sure you join us because we'll cover that and we'll show you how you could implement that. I know it has shifted things around for me and my business as well. If you desire to tell your brand story in a way that inspires action and trust from your audience, you definitely want to join us. Okay. And then if you also desire, when you are especially on virtual platforms, to build engagement with your audience and have your audience feel as if they are in the same room with you, you definitely want to join us. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put, and I see the ticker, the banner goes across the screen. Okay. And so there you go. You can join us today at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at, if you go to bit.ly, at bit.ly monetize the virtual stage. So once again, the link is going across the screen. And if one of my superstars, if you can, just go ahead and drop that into the comment section. Okay. And so without any further ado, okay, we are going to jump in right into our topic this morning. And like I said, our topic is how to become known as an influencer by building the brand call you. Now, Suzanne, I have to say, this has been like one of my favorite topics, on discussion, with you. And all month, as we sat back and, we took a look at the word influence and we take a look at the word influencer, what does that actually mean? Okay. And for me, I like it because it's one of the buzzwords that's in the marketplace. And, and maybe others, just like I did when I first heard the term influencer, I started to think about big name brands. Okay. Yeah. So all of the people who are famous in Hollywood and all of that stuff. And I remember just saying, oh, well, I'm not an influencer. Right. And then enter my mindset mastery mentor. And we started to peel back this discussion and we started to take a look at the definition. So what does the word influence really and truly mean? Okay. And so I want to start us off with your definition of the word influence, because I think that you have such a unique definition of influence.
Oh, thank you. And Tria, as usual, it is always a blast to hang out with you. And this has really been a great conversation. And I talk about influence as one of those elusive words. We use it, we understand it, but we really actually don't know how to be it.
Mm.
And there are words that the beingness of it makes all the difference in the world. But yeah, you are required to pull it apart in order to do so. So anyone who knows me knows I love words and I like to peel them apart and put action to them. And so for me, when I look at influence, it is the precursor to leadership. It is
Mm.
the precursor to inspiring people to take action, to move. And so to influence someone is to show up in such a way that you inspire them to choose action, to choose movement, to choose to be a certain way. And so the real question that we're going to look at, I think, is what allows us to be that bright source of inspiration. And for me, that is actually where mindset mastery originated from, was that need to figure out how do I inspire without positional power, without job title, without paychecks. Like, how do I inspire a voluntary army? How do I inspire someone who sees me and just wants, and I want them to move with me? For me, it's how do I become sticky, magnetic? That person who walks into the room and someone's like, I don't know what it is about her, but I need to find out more. How do I become that person? Was a question. So it's a stickiness. It's a being inspiration that people want to act.
Yeah. And I love that, right? Because I can remember, and I'm trying to remember the time. I can't remember where I was, and had a conversation around that thing, that stickiness, right? And what I have come to understand is that we all have a certain stickiness,
Yeah.
to us, but the question becomes, are we really conscious about what it is that makes us sticky, right?
Mhm.
And then if we become conscious around what that thing is, some people call it the it factor, right? What that thing is, like you said, it attracts, people to us. We become
Yeah,
magnetic. Okay.
absolutely.
And so it's one of the things, like I said, I definitely had to learn, to pay attention to. And I love when, we sit down and we have our conversations around influence. I like one of the things that you said is not by force or it's not by power, but is the ability to inspire,
Yeah.
others to action. So the things that we do, are we being an inspiration to others, right? Can others, take a look at us and be like, ooh, I want some of
And
that.
that,
And
yeah.
yeah, and I think that that's so important in the space that we are in.
And
Okay.
you alluded to something I think it's really important to make another distinction as we go into this conversation this morning. You know, what exactly is power?
Mm.
And most people, when they think of power, they think of getting someone to do something. And I want you to really look at the word getting someone to do
Mhm.
something. And so when you think of power that is external, in other words, you have a title, you have position, or you apply force. And I'm going to use the word very clearly, or you apply force. Now, force to Suzanne is manipulation, it's
Yes.
coercion, it's giving them a fear of loss, all those different things. When you apply force or withholding, I'm going to withhold your paycheck, I'm going to withhold your access, I'm going to withhold all those different things. That is not power in its true sense. That is forcing an outcome. And for many of us, when we get into sales, when we get into all these things, we are trained to force an outcome. Now, influence or power, if you will, power is an internal thing, and
Mm.
true power is an internal thing. And it lives in who you be and who you believe yourself to be. It lives in your belief in your own capacity and your ability to problem solve, to get past, to move forward, to get to places and spaces of other people. It lives in your belief, in your capacity. So when we're talking about power, I want people to be really clear. We are not talking about force. And people say, I am powerful, but they're really actually saying, I am forceful, right? And there's a clear distinction between the two. Influence lives in this place where power lives, internal power. It doesn't live in this place called force.
Yeah, and I love that you make the distinction, because I want everyone, who's on here, or superstars who are on here listening to this, like, this is one of the biggest things that I've seen in the marketplace when it comes to people positioning their products and services, or even have conversations.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that I do believe even you and I, we were sitting down and talking about it this week, is the way that, and I'm just going to put it this way, the way how some people guilt people in, working with them, or how they shame people in to working with them, right? And like, to me, I feel that that's also like an abuse of power, and it's not really,
I'm applying pressure on you to get you to do what I want. So people aren't choosing because they truly are inspired to. They're choosing to avoid shame. They're choosing to avoid loss. They're choosing to avoid guilt. They're choosing to avoid looking bad. They're choosing to avoid being on the outside.
Yeah, and
that's a good choice.
Yeah, and I think it's so important, because it's one of those things that I think that makes it hard for so many people to show up on social media, so many people to get on the phone and have those calls, because they're thinking like that's the right way for you to do stuff, or I have to do all of this to be seen as an influencer, or whatever. And no, it's not that. It's how do you show up, right? That inspire people. Like, when people look at you, they see you, whether you're on a live, you're on a platform like this, whatever your platform is, or even when they read your marketing material, your emails, they feel, that inspiration, and they feel called and feel led, to want to journey with you. Versus, oh my God, I this person just said this, and if I don't do this, then my whole entire world is going to crumble, is going to fall apart, right? And so therefore I need to, turn over the 16s. That's what I call the credit card. Hand over the 16, right? And that's not what it's all about at all.
Right.
So I'm just going to ask you to share, with us a little bit, like, when you say the brand call you, what does it really take to build the brand call you?
Well, oh my gosh! Now this is a journey, and just so we're clear, the brand call you is the person, and for most people, they don't see themselves as a brand, and this brand is not your logo. This brand is not your colors. This brand is not your slogan, your tagline, your 3-second commercial. It's none of that. Those come out of it, but that's not what it is. This brand is actually the person that people see, the person that people feel, the person that people engage in and they get an energy from. That's what we're talking about when I say the brand call you. So the first place that this brand exists for me is I have to love me. Right? So this brand exists in the falling madly in love with you. So I will say to you, women and men, this is continuous work, because there's some days you wake up and you're like, I'm all that, and then there's some days you're like, not so much. But this brand is about falling madly in love with you. And whenever I say it, people are like, what? Falling madly in love with you. And, I have this conversation with one of my mentors, Lethea, and Lethea describes me as, she goes, you float through a room and you have this ease about you. And a lot of that, Taria, has to do with my work on me as a person, in terms of my health, my fitness, my nutrition, my energy, how much sleep I get, how much it has a lot to do with my self-care. Napoleon Hill talks about this thing called our sexual energy, right? Our sexual energy, for men, we call it charisma. Men have charisma, right? Women, we don't have a name for it. It's charisma, girls. It's charisma, ladies. But it lives in our sexuality. And it is your comfort with your sexuality. Women have a way they walk through the world. Men have a way they walk through the world. And just because we boss ladies don't mean we man ladies.
I love it. That's a quote. That's a quotable, right? Not because boss ladies mean that we're man ladies. I love it.
Right? And so it is finding that comfortable place between your femininity and your strength and your power and what is uniquely you. That means your own beauty. And so it's not about being pretty, it's about owning your beauty. And your beauty in my world comes from the journey of wisdom. It comes from the journey of transformation. It comes from the journey of evolution. It comes from that journey. It comes from the every time you get up and you rise, that's the journey that has you fall in love with yourself. It's the journey of staying in alignment with what you believe and not compromising your soul for money. It's all those things. That's the building of the brand Call You. So that's the first thing, Sharia, is there is I say to people, when I look in the mirror, I gotta like the woman looking back at me. I gotta love the woman looking back at me. And I need to like her soul. And you know what that is, right? Her soul, like she didn't sell it for something. I like to like the soul of this woman. And when I do, there's a swagger about me. There's a way about me. There's a way to which I enter places and spaces because I like me. That's the first thing, right? For someone to like you, your brand, you have to love you. So that's the number one thing. And it's to remember that, because how often do we find ourselves being coerced, tempted to compromise and sell our soul for something? And then what we're doing is we're eroding our brand to the point where we wake up one day and we don't like her.
Yeah.
I don't like her.
Yeah.
That is the place that's what we are required to protect. I am required to be madly in love with me at all, more often than not. I can't say all times, I'd love it to be all times, but more often than not.
Yeah, and it's so good, because one of the things that I'll share with my superstars and everyone who's watching, there was a point where, I found myself falling out of love with my business. Okay. And I had to go back and really start to unpack it. Right? Like, how could the thing that I desire, like, oh my gosh, I want to be on this journey. I'm an entrepreneur. There are a whole bunch of promises here, time, freedom, wealth, all of this stuff. But oh my gosh, this is not what I signed up for. And so I literally started, to feel that way in my business. And this is the thing that I also had to come to realize is, like, when we talk about the brand Call You, it ties in to your business, because you could say one thing, right, but your whole demeanor, your whole attitude, your energy signature is totally like off. And and let me just tell you, ain't no amount of marketing material, ain't no amount of photo shoot, could fit that stuff. Okay. And so it's like, I had to step back and I had to start to do the work. And then I had to also realize that, hey, this is also part of me building the brand, me. Okay. Yeah. So what are the things that I'm going to do every day? And, I have to use my words, right? What are the things that I have to do that would allow me to serve better? And so that's the first question that I had to ask myself. Right. So I had to take a look at how I'm serving, had to become like really clear, like, oh my gosh, right? I didn't serve well today. Okay. Oh, I could have served more today. What caused that to happen? And oftentimes, when I look back, it's because I didn't take care of the brand called me, right?
Absolutely.
And so I
Absolutely.
have to learn, to go to work, on the brand called me, right? So it can show up in my business.
So let's talk a little bit about the work, right? Because when I talk about falling madly and being madly in love with you, and I say it's work, it is totally work, and I want you to consider that your brand. People make a decision about the brand calling you before you ever open your mouth,
Hmm.
right? And so, and when I do it, I ask, does your brand show up and say, "Ooh, I'm tired. I'm
Right.
always tired. Ooh, I'm overwhelmed and frazzled. Ooh, I don't care for myself." Oh, does your brand show up and say, "I'm struggling"? Does your brand show up to say, "I don't care about how I put myself together"? And if I don't care about how I put myself together, do I really care about how I put your stuff together? Like, people make all sorts of decisions like this around our brand. So when we talk about working on your brand, one is we're talking about, I mean, anybody who hangs out with Suzanne knows we work out, my crew, we work out every morning, 30 minutes. We go at it hard. Um, and it's 5 days a week, because physical fitness in my mind equals mental fitness, but it also affects
Yeah.
how the brand shows up, both how it looks and the energy to which it shows up. Working on myself. What do you eat? What do you drink? How long do you sleep? All that stuff, right? That is the internal health of my brand, but it shows up in my skin, my hair, my nails, my energy, all those things. So we're talking that way. Okay, so now let's get into the nitty gritty. What am I reading?
Yeah.
What am I listening to? Because to be the mindset mastery mentor, it's not like I just said, okay, I'm going to be that person. I'm required to become that and be in that conversation persistently and consistently. So in my world, 30 minutes every day, an hour of reading every weekend. That's 3 to 4 books a month. That's a number of books a year, right? That is hundreds of books over 10 years.
Yeah.
And so, am I feeding my brand with the information that keeps it sharp? What am I reflecting on? Am I journaling? Am I writing? Am I creating? Am I taking the information that I'm getting and making it my own? I'm working on the brand, call me, right? What am I doing spiritually to feed my soul? Do I journal that way? Am I in prayer? Am I in worship? Am I taking time to sit still and meditate so I can download some brilliance that is only for me?
Yeah.
There's a layering of taking care of this brand called you. It is work.
Yeah.
However, if you understand the impact of that work, it is worth it.
Yeah.
So influence lives in this place, Tria, where I am required to inspire me. That's how I look at it.
Yes.
The
First and foremost.
first person I am required to inspire is Suzanne. I have to wake up and I have to begin each day and end each day going, I like how you showed up today. You inspired me when you showed up today. Because if I can inspire me, because I'm tough on me, if I can inspire me, chances are I inspired someone else. And so for me, I have to consciously commit to showing up as a source of inspiration.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
love
that constant that creates influence.
Yeah, I love it because the question that we asked earlier is what builds the stickiness, right? What builds the magnetic? And that's what it is that builds the magnetic, when you pour all of these things into yourself, like people could see health wise, you look good. So you
Yeah.
don't to out there, tell people, hey, I look good. People see you look good, and they know that you're in order for you to get
Yeah,
that result, right? That you have to be, doing the work, and you're consistently doing the work. When you have the conversations, you pour, and you pour into people, or you share, people automatically want to gather around like a fireside, because they know, like, every time you open up your mouth, right, you're just going to say something good. You just have people like that. Like, every time they open up their mouth, some goodness, juiciness is going to fall out, and you don't ever want to miss, the conversation, right? And when you sit and you take a look at it, that's because they understand everything that you've just shared with us. Like, you have to build, that brand called you first. Okay,
absolutely.
so I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna kind of shift a little bit, because the reason why we're talking about this, and this was such a good framework and a good backdrop, okay, because once again, we're all influencers, right? And we're all thought leaders, and we're in this space, right? Because we desire, to be more and do more inside of the world, okay?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, people are following us on our journey, and sitting here as a social media strategist, I have to tie it in, right, to social media. I have to tie it back to marketing. Okay. So one of the things that I would like for you to share, as we're talking about influence and we're talking about building the brand, is the evolution, of your journey. So when I met you and we started to collaborate together, the brand was Fit, Fab, and Fulfilled.
Hmm.
And now the brand is Unstoppable Mindset. So, can you share with us just a little bit about what the journey has been like for you?
It's interesting, absolutely. So when I entered the entrepreneurial influencer world, I entered it through, as most people know, network marketing. And what's interesting is, and network marketing is a health company. It was the company I was with was a health company, and I'm an athlete. Like, since I was like, before I could, seems like before I could walk, I was an athlete. I can, my mother would tell you, Suzanne could do any sport, and give her a minute, and she kind of like, she's in it. I'm that type of athlete. I focused on basketball, track, and then I became a competitive bodybuilder and excelled.
Mhm.
So when I got into network marketing, I wanted to be known for wealth creation, not sports.
Mm.
And so I did not tell anybody about this background. I would wear suits that would cover up my physique, and so on and so forth. Until one day I took my shirt off, my jacket off, and someone went, "Look at those arms," which is the most common comment I get all the time. And I was like, "Oh shoot, put it back on." And I'll tell you why that story is so key. Because although I was an athlete, it wasn't the physicality of being an athlete that intrigued me. It was the thinking of
Mm.
an athlete that intrigued me. So yes, I had the athlete's physique, but I was so enamored with the thinking. So when I got into network marketing, I was all into personal growth, personal development, and there were so many avenues. Like, there was a whole like athletes avenue in this company, and I was like, yeah, been there, done that, don't want to do it. No. And I was like, show me the wealth, show me the personal growth, show me all these things. And so that became the beginning of the journey. I began to step out on my own, and because I am an athlete and I'm preoccupied with the mindset of fitness, and I'm really preoccupied with the mindset of fitness because I know that great athletes also make fantastic entrepreneurs. I know that great athletes also make
Mm.
fantastic leaders. I know that great athletes also make, they understand delayed gratification. They understand discipline. They understand persistence. They understand pain. They understand the gains. They understand training for 5 years for 3 minutes. Do you get what I'm saying? They have that
Yeah.
kind of mindset. And so my preoccupation was how do you get this mindset if you've never been an athlete? Because
Mm.
it really is a great business mindset. And so Fit, Fab, and Fulfilled was the exploration of the mindset of health and wellness. And why? Because the mindset of health and wellness, if you can master yourself, now this is like a drop, so someone might want to write this. If you can master yourself, your health and wellness, you have mastered you. I want you guys to get this.
Yeah.
And so my brand started with how do you master yourself so you can master you.
Yeah.
And so that was the beginning of it. Because, and I tell people, part of my success is because I am so conditioned to master myself in order to win a race, right? Or in order to get up at 6 a.m. and not like to do long distance running, but run anyway so I can win that race. So I was so conditioned to have a level of mastery. It was, how do you do it if you've never had that conditioning as an athlete? What was the challenge with the brand was everybody still saw me as an athlete.
Mm.
So it was, we need to evolve again.
Yes.
So we decided, let's make the retreat a program and let's just go with mindset. So mindset mastery evolved.
Okay.
And so now we're all mindset, and we're all mindset mastery and all that stuff. And I'm diving into what's happening between your two ears that's in the way of you doing, right? So, if you want success, how do you have to condition your thinking, your communication, your emotions, and your habits in order to get where you want to go? Mindset mastery. And so in that, and now we're starting to get a little bit of stickiness, a little bit, people are beginning to grasp it. However, I'm also realizing, Tria, that when I say mindset mastery, people are like, I don't know what that is. So I started writing my copy, and all over the headlines in my copy was unstoppable, unstoppable, unstoppable. And I was like, that's it. I want people to feel and be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Right? So mindset mastery is how I do it.
Yeah.
Why I do it is because I have a desire for me to be unstoppable, and for every single person I work with to be and feel unstoppable. And when people see them, they go, damn, they're unstoppable. And unstoppable mindset emerge. And unstoppable mindset just naturally evolved. Why is this important? Because influence is not you just decide how it's going to show up. Influence is you influencing yourself. Influence is you inspiring yourself. Influence is what is available through the journey of transformation.
Yeah.
So, and this is what I got to realize on my journey of network marketing, because when I started my journey in network marketing, particularly when I quit my job, most people thought I'd lost my mind and had a mental breakdown because I left a great job.
You too.
I got divorced. Like it all happened in like a period of 6 months, and people were like, "She is having a mental breakdown." I had never felt so clear in my life. What is interesting about that is that what created influence was people thinking I was a little nutso, to people watching the evolution and transformation. And people who thought I was nuts are walking with me today. Yeah. People who thought I was a little off are like in awe and going, oh my gosh, I'm so inspired by you. I always knew you could do this. I'm like, Right? Influence will shift the thinking of other people. Influence will shift the belief of other people. However, you must be the light of that transformation. You are the evidence of possibility. And why is it so key? Because when you and I are the evidence of possibility, we give people belief and hope. And there's not enough visionaries in the world that are doing that for people. So when they find someone, that's why they were called influencers, because when they find us, they're like, oh my gosh, look, particularly when we're the average person,
Yeah. You know,
right?
I love it, Suzanne, because as we sit here, I'm just thinking about my journey too. And it's, always so amazing how, I see the parallels all the time. And so
Yeah,
one of the things that, I share, all the time is when I started Social Media Saturdays, right? Social Media Saturdays just started out as a way for me to learn, how to do video marketing, like what
yeah,
are some of the challenges. And then it really started out with the technical things that people struggle with when it comes to doing videos, whether it's a webinar, live streaming, or whatever video platform that you're using. And I just wanted to know how
yeah,
things work. And that's like how my mind works. My mind is just like, well, okay, I'm just going to go ahead, figure it out. Okay, I know just like how I'm challenged with it, somebody else is challenged with it. So I'm just going to break it down, make it easy, right? And give it back, right? So,
yeah,
that was literally the concept behind of Social Media Saturdays. But as I continue, on the journey, you know, a lot of, opposition and a lot of naysayers, so people started to take a look at the norm, some of the things that they saw inside of the marketplace, some of the things that we're taught as marketers, like, oh, why are you wasting your time showing up here? You're doing this for free. You're giving all of your information away.
yeah,
When you give the information away, people won't want to work with you. Why are you making yourself so accessible? And the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay. And I really had to sit and pick apart that conversation. And serve, share, shine was a result, of that conversation. Right. And so, coming through the evolution and the development of serve, share, shine, what I realized that number one, there's a lot of people out there who desire, to show up, but they're still hiding. They're hiding behind of, whatever, whether it's conversations that go on in their mind, they're hiding behind of marketing material, whatever. So what have I learned on this journey that allowed me to show up powerfully? The second part is consistently. So that's another thing that people
yeah.
ask all the time, like, oh my gosh, you do this, all the time. Like, wow, like what's the secret, behind of it? Okay. And so unpacking, all of that, what I realized is, like you said, is the influence, is the inspiration, right, of people. And people are looking towards everyday people, for inspiration. And I think that
Absolutely.
it's easy when we take a look at, top influencers or big names, right? A lot of times we really don't know the backstory. So we tell ourselves things like, oh, they have a ton load of money, or it might be easy for them to do XYZ. So therefore I can't do it. Okay. And so if I'm here just to take a stand, to just let all my superstars know, right, that you too, can do this. You too have it inside of you. Right. And it's just to bring it forth. I like one of the things that we talk about is being able to live in such a way, and have relationships in such a way where you're calling forth the next level of greatness, from the
Absolutely.
people that you encounter, right? And so
And I think we
that's
have
what
that.
it's about.
I think we have that responsibility. So, you're saying to everyone that you too can be an influencer. And I would challenge everybody that we all have a responsibility
Yeah.
to be an influencer. If you have parents, if you have parents, you're an influencer. If you have children, you're an influencer.
Mhm.
If you live in a community, you're an influencer. It's to the extent to which you want to have an impact. That is really what we're required to choose, is to what extent do we want to have that impact. And it's that's just the way, that's the reality. I think we shy away from wanting to have influence because influence requires choice.
Yeah.
Influence requires integrity. And what I mean by integrity is doing, acting in alignment with what you truly believe, so your soul stays intact, right? And so
Love
for
that.
a lot of us, we don't want to put our truth into the world
Yeah.
because if we really examine our hearts, for many of us, our truths are not what's out there.
Mm.
And so influence is that place where you're willing to say, that's what everybody's doing, blue ocean.
Yeah.
I'm gonna red ocean this. I'm gonna figure this out and I'm gonna do it my way. Right? So when you say I'm gonna show up and I'm just gonna serve,
Yeah.
yes, everybody says I'm serving too much, but that's who I am. I'm going to serve and it is going to work. It is that distinction, right? It is for me really understanding, why influence became so important to me is I wanted to be sticky. I did not want to use force, power, coercion, manipulation to attract people, and that's not even attracting, to coerce and cajole people. I
Right.
wanted people to be attracted to me. And so for me, it was figuring it out because to do it any other way didn't feel good in my soul.
Yeah. And
I couldn't sell that way.
yeah.
And so for me to feel comfortable in sales, in process, in business, I was required to figure out how can I be sticky? How can I have influence?
Yeah. And I love the part that you talk about integrity, right? Because a lot of times when we think about integrity, we think about integrity in relationships to others, okay?
Yeah,
And you want to be in integrity to others, right? But how are you holding yourself true, right? And like I say, like when you get up every day, like are you living your true you? Are you doing things that you know that bring you joy? That's the best way that I could
hmm,
put it, right? Because I know when I do things outside of who I truly am, there's that feeling like in the pit of your stomach, that rub, like
yeah,
no, that's not it. It's not it. I don't want to do that. Okay. But the minute when I hold true, to who I am, then serving becomes a joy. And I feel like I could show up, as who I truly, who I'm really
absolutely.
called to be.
And
Okay.
Tria, this is the interesting thing. Is if I am not in integrity with myself, I cannot actually be in integrity with someone else,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And so we think that if I say I'm going to do something for someone, I just need to go do it. This is where we don't look. Attitude is everything. If
Oh,
I begrudgingly show up and do the do, I am not in integrity because energetically, I'm telling you, I am so annoyed I have to be here doing this for you.
yeah. That is
I'm
so.
still, I'm still out of integrity. So when we talk about integrity, we're talking about alignment, right? Thoughts, emotions, words, behavior. It's total alignment. So we think people are like, well, I'm a person of integrity. Often people aren't because they're doing the do with attitude. They're doing the do with upset. They're doing the do begrudgingly. They're doing the do just giving the little bit just to say they did it.
Yeah.
That is not living in a place of integrity. And so, and we come to our sales and our business in this place, and then we wonder, why am I not closing?
Yes. Yes.
You're closing because people can feel the misalignment and they may not know what it is, but they can feel that you are out of alignment. Therefore, they can't trust you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not because you're dishonest, it's because you're not doing your work.
Yeah.
Remember, I said, got to feed the soul. Soul's got to feel good.
You are hitting it right on, like my mom says, you're hitting the nail right on top of the head. And it's so true, right? And a lot of times, like when we find ourselves in that space, we wonder, like, why isn't this working? We desire to go after this.
Oop, did we lose her? That me or you? Can someone type what they're seeing if you?
Yes. Okay. All right. Hopefully I'm back. Oh my God. I
You
like
are.
just
You are. I was like, is that me? Is that you?
the whole screen just went blank just now. Like, oh my gosh, what just happened? One of the things that I was about to say, like, I'm so excited for our superstars, and our super achievers, right? Because not to let the cat out of the bag. I'm trying not to let the cat out of the bag, but oh my gosh, we had the opportunity to sit down, right, and do some work and take a look at the journey. And when I tell you, everything that we worked on, from the product offerings to the serving to the delivery, just felt good because it allows us to show up, right, as who we are. And I think that that's such a big thing, that's out there. Like, people don't even pay attention to the energetics, of
Mhm.
doing something that you don't want to do, or even working with someone who's not your ideal client. And I talk about this stuff all the time because we're taught to look at the people that we work with through the demographics, right? The age, the gender, all of that other good stuff. But do you really know who your divine client is? The person that, when you get up out of bed in the morning, you're excited to go serve. You're looking forward to the conversation, right? Because it's really a good fit. And at the end of the day, and this is what I talk about serving, right? At the end of the day, does that mean that everything is going to be peachy keen and everything is going to be perfect? No. Still on the journey. There's still bumps, there's still bruises, there's still lots of stuff to learn. There's still things that we're going to do that's going to fail, right? But the difference is you are excited to
Mhm.
out, right? And it's more of a, what are we doing together? Or how are we partnering together? Like, how am I partnering with you to help you win, to help you get your desires,
Yeah.
right? And for me, I used to have a thing like running in my background, right? That, oh my gosh, like, if I don't even know how to say it, but it's like that fear, like, am I going to lose a client? Am I going to lose? Am I going to lose? And that's the thing that was running, right? But the thing is like, when you find those divine people, it's
Mhm.
not a lost conversation. It's a conversation of, what do we need to do, to fix the problem, or what do we need to do, to get the results that we desire? What do we need to shift? What do we need to tweak? And it's, once again, that locking arms, okay? And
Yeah.
so I talk about that stuff because, once again, we're talking about influence, we're talking about showing up, in the marketplace, we're talking about branding, all of that stuff, right? And it ties in. Everything ties in. And so thank you,
Absolutely.
for sharing the evolution of your brand.
Thank you. And this is such a great conversation, and I wanna let everyone listening, all our superstars and super achievers, that if you are not liking sales, then there's something off in your process.
Yeah.
I remember when I didn't like sales, and I was attempting to do sales the way people taught me. And we joke about it, Tria. They taught me the clothesline close, the spin around close, the jump up and down close, the sad close, the happy close, the dejected close. You can't miss out on this close. They taught me. I mean, I learned all of that.
Yeah.
I was still out of integrity.
Yeah.
I was still out of integrity. And people felt it because there was a discomfort in me. I didn't like the process. They taught me the lines, and I was like, I would never say this if you asked me. Like, this line is stupid. I mean, truly, that was me. This line is dumb. I would never say this. So I was so out of integrity that I was out of alignment. It was when I started to believe in my products and service with such certainty, such like, if you don't do this, you're missing.
Yeah.
And when I came to the conversation with such certainty and such love of what I was called to do, the conversation was a service. It was a value add. And the sale fell into place.
Yeah.
And so I love sales, Taria. Put me on the phone if you're my divine client. I'm sorry for you. Because
we're not sorry for them. We're excited,
no,
right?
I
Because,
know that.
they're taking them to the next level. We're just moving on them.
But this is the thing, right? Because when we enter into sales process, we think of the close being this hard thing. I enter it like, if we're in alignment, we done. It's all over. It's all over.
Yeah.
And you'll see people going, I gotta go find money. Give me a week, give me a month, give me whatever. I'll be back. That's a different process. It's a process of when there's such alignment that your influence and impact lands in a different way. So there's no coercion. There's no manipulation. Like, people are like, she's kind of laid back when she's doing her sales process. I kind of am, because I believe what I believe. And I know that who's for me is for me. It may be their time, it may be not, but we're going to work together. And so I'm coming into it with a mindset of abundance and a mindset of, if we're in alignment, it's done. It's done. It's all over. It's done. And I usually know within the first 5 minutes of the call, sometimes less.
Yeah.
And so integrity and influence are so connected, because I have to know who I am in the marketplace. I have to love who I am. And as you said, I have to know who I'm here for.
Yeah.
And I'm not here for everybody.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. All right. So I can't believe our time just seems to fly by all the time.
Part two.
Yes, we definitely have to do a part 2. I just want to give some shout outs. Oh my gosh. Like, I haven't even talked to my superstars. So thank you, Maria, for jumping in and joining us this morning. Maria says, thank you for the clarification. Barbara is out there this morning. Thank you so much, Barbara, for tuning in and joining. One of the things that I see Yetta saying, inspire me first before I can inspire anyone else. Yetta, yes, that is exactly what we are called to do. Okay, and I think I saw another question, or Patricia saying, both of you amazing people have paved the way to be authentic, true to your true self, and choosing yourself to stay in line with ourselves and shining our true calling. Yes, Patricia, that, my dear, is what it is all about. Okay,
that's a super right there. I love Mr. Oz Cooper, Dennis. His comment is, sales is my greatest challenge. Now I know why I wasn't in alignment with my ethos. That's powerful.
Yes.
My integrity.
Yes.
I absolutely love to reach out to you, sir. I love it.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. And like I said, it's like one of the things that have been like the big missing, right? Like, we're taught all of these things, and like I said, I know the word influence, at least for me, has seemed like it's a buzzword, lately. But what does it really mean? Okay, and knowing that we all have the ability, to influence. and influence others. And it starts with the inspiring of us first, and then that trickles outward and attracts other people to us. Okay. And so, oh my gosh, Suzanne, we are wrapping up this episode of Social Media Saturdays, because guess what? We are getting ready to jump onto our Magnetize and Monetize the Virtual Stage webinar. Okay.
Yes,
And so
ma'am.
if you are out there and you've seen us doing the promotions for the webinar, you've missed us, or even if you want to join us again, okay, you're more than welcome to. We are doing the webinar at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is an hour from now. Okay. And I do believe that the link is in the comment section, and it's also going across the screen on the ticker. Okay. So
Mhm.
feel free if you want to join us and continue the conversation of how you could, build a brand story that will inspire others and leave people hanging and on the edge of the seat if they're in this virtual world with you and you desire to do more stuff virtually. Definitely, we have some goodies, some awesomeness that we're going to share with you today at 12 o'clock. So make sure to join us. Okay.
And Tria, this is the one of the secrets to authentic influence.
Mhm.
I will tell everybody inside every story, there's a sales process,
Yes.
and that sales process is as authentic as you can be if you're willing to go there. So that's gonna be my little teaser.
Ooh, Oz. Oz says, one of the reasons I haven't used Facebook Live because I didn't want to attract followers. I want to attract leaders. Oh, Oz, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I've been meaning to put that call into Mark. Is actually a running joke that Suzanne and I have. Put that call into Mark Zuckerberg, right? And have him change fans and followers to leaders, because definitely
I don't
that's
want
who we
fans.
want to attract, right? We don't want fans. We don't want followers. We want the leaders. So thank you so much for that, Oz. Okay. So thank you
And
for reminding me. I got to put my call into
you can join us at noon. We'll talk to you about how you find those leaders.
I love it. I love it. Okay. And so, once again, superstars, thank you once again for taking the time to stop into social media strategies, real strategies to help you show up and shine. Okay. And if you are not a member of our Serve, Share, Shine, our givers community, make sure you head on over to our Facebook group, which is Serve, Share, Shine, the Givers Community. Knock on the door, and then we will let you in. I'm also can be found on Instagram at Taria Hodge on Instagram. We are on Twitter at Watch SMS Live, YouTube, Social Media Saturdays, and also on LinkedIn. If you are on LinkedIn at Taria Hodge, okay. And Suzanne, before we close out, just let our superstars know where they can connect with you as well.
Oh, absolutely. We have, of course, I am right here on Facebook, and we have Unstoppable Mindset for Super Achievers Facebook group. So again, as Tria said, knock on the door. We will definitely let you in, have you join us. We are definitely looking for leaders, people who have a desire to be unstoppable and want to be in that conversation. I am Suzan Hart on LinkedIn, Instagram, as well as Twitter. And Suzanne is Suzan. Hart is Hart. And definitely would love to connect with you and learn a little bit more about what you do and who you're called to serve.
All right. So once again, superstars, take care until next time. Bye bye.